The first item on the agenda after the roll call is a recognition. As most people have probably read by now, last week we found out that Bloomberg Business Week has named Blacksburg the best place to raise a child, which really, when you think about it, is significant. It's a real affirmation of what we have all tried to do in Blacksburg for so long and have been part of a larger community. And I've said a lot of times this week that it's really not just Blacksburg. It's not the little political boundaries that we have laid out, but it's Montgomery County. It's everybody who surrounds us and part of it, and it's an honor I think that we all need to share. But being that honor, it really is the citizens. It's people in the community that work hard, that work with children, and they are the ones that have made Blacksburg the best place to raise a child in the United States. So what I thought I might do tonight is I've asked a few representatives of that citizenry to come in. And I'll just introduce them, ask them to come stand on either side of me if they would, because this is why their contributions is why Blacksburg is the place that it is and is so conducive to raise a child and so productive. So let me, as I call your name, if you would come up, I'll tell a little bit about you as you're coming up, and if you kind of stand on either side, make a little wink, says we are going to get pictures. But first is Rodney Allen. Rodney, if you could come up. Rodney has worked with Scouts now for how many years?
About 25.
25 years. In fact, Rodney and I have been on a couple camping trips together. I learned a lot, but the number of young men that Rodney has worked with and brought through scouting is a real testament to his involvement in the community. Chief Kim Kranis. Kim, if you'd come on over here. I asked Kim to be here because if you looked at some of the reasons why Blacksburg was talked about and our community was talked about is because the low crime rate. And I think that's so important. And of course, the chief and the officers back there have a lot to do with that. But also the community involvement that the police department has with young people. I was out at the high school today for the Thanksgiving baskets, and our resource officer was there, the DARE program. So you have been in their lives for a long time, so we thank you for your contribution to achieving this. Billy Newcomb. Bill, if you would come forward. Now, Bill is a product of growing up in Blacksburg, in addition to his full-time job as an engineer, right? He also has spent an awful lot of time working with the Soccer Association, and like so many people in Blacksburg, has coached Little League, coached basketball, coached soccer, and been part of giving their time to be a great mentor for young people. Mary Biggs. Mary, if you would come up. Mary is an educator. She teaches at Harding Avenue Elementary, and Mary's also on the Board of Supervisors, and one of the other criteria they use is education, and I think it's so important to have representatives of education up here and also representatives of the board, because your support of education means so much to making our community what it is. Kirk Shepard. Kirk, if you would come up. Kirk not only is a product of growing up in Blacksburg, but what Kirk was telling me before, which I really had never known, I've known Kirk pretty near all of his life, is that Cecile Newcomb was his track coach. So it kind of shows you as you go why it's so important to be involved in the community and to be involved. And Kirk is an aide at the high school, works with special needs kids, and also coaches track. So thank you for what you do. And Keith Moore. Keith, if you would come up. The other item that was talked about in the article were our trails. The number of trails in Blacksburg and how that is health and gets kids out playing and walking and riding bikes. And so you're chair of the corridor committee, which has been so involved for so long in keeping us on track with trails, reminding us of their importance. So we thank you for what you do. So this is just, I think, a very small representative. If we had everybody in here, we would never be able to fit everybody in the building, much less this room. But thank you all very much for what you have done for all of our children in Blacksburg over the years. Thank you.